Hello, everyone. Hi, Paolo. Welcome.
Hello, hello.
Awesome. How is everyone doing today?
I'm pretty good.
So for those of you who read the announcement, today we are doing a merge for the MasterZ Extra Blockchain 101, meaning that both editions will be present today. So fourth Italian edition and the first Europe, Middle East, and India. So we will have everyone here on the same page. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Beatrice. You will usually see me on the lessons that are held in English. So it's great to meet you, everyone, the ones that I don't know. So we can go ahead and start. It's already 6 p.m. So Paolo, I leave the floor to you. Thank you. And,
for sure, thank you.
I'm here,
thank you, Beatrice.
here for any questions, so thank you.
All right, cool. So let me get ahead and share my screen. So can you see my screen here?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Good.
Cool. So hello everyone. My name is Paolo. I'm a freelance Web3 dev. I was on the second edition of MasterZ. You know, it was a hell of a ride. I've been I mean, MasterZ gave me a good kickstart on all the blockchain concepts and core features. So I've never left the space since then. And now I'm working as a Web3 dev. I've been taking part of hackathons, and I've been trying to learn as much as I could. So I've also left like my LinkedIn handle. So if you have any question or any feedback to give me after this lecture, just feel free to message me, and I'll be sure to reply to all of you. So enough said about me, and let's jump into today's lecture. So what are we going to talk about? So today we're going to talk about crypto wallet with a particular focus on MetaMask. I know that you should have already done a lecture regarding crypto wallet. I just wanted to review some core concepts in order to be sure that you have understood them, because we'll need those in order to understand the next section of the lectures. We're going to talk about node providers with a focus on Infura and Alchemies that are, the most famous node providers out there, and we're going to talk about, what they do and what they're used for in blockchain. And then we'll deep dive on blockchain explorers. I'm going to show you how to interact with blockchain explorers and what kind of data you can fetch from blockchain explorers regarding, for example, your account, the transactions that have been made from your account and to your account, and like transaction made from and to interact with smart contracts. So with that said, let's talk about MetaMask. So what is MetaMask, right? I mean, MetaMask is a crypto wallet, but that's kind of I mean, MetaMask it's not really a wallet in the right sense of the word. Like, I mean, I feel like a wallet is kind of a misleading term for people that just enter in crypto, because I mean, we're used to think about wallet as kind of containers where you store your assets. So I mean, for example, a wallet is basically a physical container where you physically put your money, your assets in. But that's not what a crypto wallet is. A crypto wallet, it's a container of keys. It's more like of a keychain, because it doesn't store your assets inside of itself, but it stores the keys that give you access to those assets. Because remember that assets will always be on the blockchain. Okay, maybe you can bridge them from blockchain to blockchain, but your asset will always be stored inside the blockchain. They're not going to be in your wallet. So I just want to make that clear. And if you leave like this lecture with any notion at all, please be this one. So you're not storing your assets inside your wallet. You're just storing your keys that give you access to those assets. So when we create like a new account on MetaMask, MetaMask will generate a pair of keys. One will be your public keys, and one will be your private key. So your public key is basically your address. It's basically a string that identifies your wallet inside the blockchain. So if people want to send you assets, they want to send you Ethereum, I mean cryptocurrencies at all, they're going to refer to your public key. That's your wallet address. Those terms are mean the same thing. So that's what your public key represents. While your private key, as the name suggests, should be, must be private. So ideally, you should be like the only person in the world to know about your private key, and that's used to sign the transaction to forward into the blockchain, right? So so how MetaMask does forward transaction into the blockchain? I mean, basically, it's pretty simple. So if you ever interacted with a smart contract platform at all, you will notice that first thing, you need to connect your wallet, and 90% chance are you're gonna use MetaMask. And when you need to interact, for example, with a smart contract, a window will open up that will request you to sign that transaction. So basically, when MetaMask asks you to sign a transaction, under the hood, it's basically like encrypting the transaction with your private key, okay? And then it will send this transaction over the internet to reach a node provider that we're gonna talk about real soon. And then that node provider will broadcast that transaction onto the blockchain. So, I mean, the workflow is pretty simple, right? So you send your message gets transmitted over the internet, over HTTPS, right, protocol, to a node provider that has some endpoints that MetaMask can contact in order to broadcast that transaction into the blockchain. All right. So what are nodes and what are nodes providers? So basically, a node is a program running on a single computer that allows you to connect with the rest of the blockchain network. The most popular node provider out there are Infura and Alchemy. And basically what they do, it's like they are exposing Ethereum. I'm talking about Ethereum because I guess it's the most used blockchain nowadays. So they expose Ethereum API endpoints that you can contact. So maybe a lot of you are not familiar with the concepts of API. I'll try to make it as simple as possible, but you could think about API as, basically an API, it's an URL, okay? It's a string in your browser that you can contact. So think about an API like, having a phone number, okay? So your API URL, it's like a phone number, okay? And you can, dial this phone number in your phone, and you can call that API, and you can ask it to do stuff for you, okay? So let's, for example, I can contact an API and tell it like, I want you to send this amount of ETH to this contract or this account, and that API under the hood will run a process that's gonna do exactly that. Okay, so basically the node, inside the Ethereum blockchain, for example, are running a program that's the Ethereum client. And what the node provider do is like they're exposing some methods from the Ethereum client over the internet in order for you to contact them and be able to interact with them without having, for example, to run your own node. That's an hassle. It's not easy to run a node. You need to the hardware, you need the electricity. It's really expensive. So if you ever developed an application on any blockchain, you will need one of those node providers, because those node providers will let you fetch data from the blockchain. They are basically your bridge from the internet to the blockchain. So while you're, for example, developing an application, you're gonna configure one of these providers. Infura and Alchemy are the most used one, but there are a ton out there, and they change from blockchain to blockchain. Like, for example, Infura supports a set of blockchain, not all of them. There are different node providers for different blockchain, but basically through this node provider, you will be able to contact the blockchain to get the data that you need for your application. Maybe you need the balance or of some accounts, or maybe you need to fetch metadata for an NFT. Any kind of data that you wish to have inside your application will be bridged through these node providers. So I hope that's clear, so we can move forward. And now we're going to talk about blockchain explorers. So blockchain explorers are basically tools that you can use, and you will use them to get data, regarding the status of your transaction, or the status of your accounts, or your smart contracts. So just to be clear, I mean, blockchain explorers basically have all the same interface. So like, for example, in this slide, I've showed you some user interface for Polygon, for Ethereum, and for Binance. And as you can see, they have basically the same layout, and they have basically the same information. So once you get comfortable with one of those blockchain explorers, you will know how to use a lot of those blockchain explorers, because they basically work the same, and they were basically built by the same team. So let's check out what we can do like with this blockchain explorer. So I'm gonna stop the presentation right here, and I'm just gonna go on a blockchain explorer. I'm gonna use let me see if I can move this thing here. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna go on Polygon Scan, and I'm gonna use the Polygon Scan for Mumbai. That's a testnet of Polygon. So when you interact with blockchain, you have like a double option. You can interact with mainnet, and you can interact with testnet, right? So when you're, for example, I'm a developer, so I'm gonna interact with testnet a lot more, because I can interact with the blockchain without having to pay real money. Because for example, you're gonna have like on Mumbai, instead of having like the token of the blockchain that's called Matic, you're gonna have like a Matic Mumbai that you can get for free, and you can use to interact with the blockchain. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go on the Polygon Scan Mumbai, and here I want to show you something. So this is testnet, right? And that's what differentiates scan to scan. We're on the testnet right here. So I'm just going to show you, like, for example, what kind of data you can fetch from here. So let me just get one of my accounts. Let's say I want this account right here, right? Okay. So it's to check like for an account, it's enough to copy and paste into this input box your address. So for example, in MetaMask, your address is exactly under the name of your account. So if you just click on this button here, it says copy to clipboard, that's going to be copied, and you're going to be able to paste it inside the input text box. So if I look through this, no, wait, it wasn't this one that I want to show you. Let me get the right one. Was there this one? It was like, I think this one. Let me see. No, not even this one. Oh, damn. Maybe, I guess, I can also show you like a different one, but, I had one with some cool transaction inside, and, I was pretty sure it was that one. Let me just switch to the testnet here. And let me see which one has, the most matting inside. So it should be this one though. No, let me see. No, it's not this one. All right, because I just resetted like my transaction. So because I had some problem while developing an application, so I just had to reset my transaction. So let's just check out one of these wallets, like for example this one, right? So this guy right here just made one transaction, okay, and we can look at the transaction, but first what can we understand from this screen? So we see that we had a transfer, Okay, that's you know, a method that you can call from a smart contract that's going to transfer value from an account to an account. So what it did is like, you know, from this account right here, okay, it transfer to this account right here this amount to Matic. Matic is the cryptocurrency of the Polygon blockchain. So that's, you know, at first glance, you know, all the information that basically you need, you know, to see if you know what it did, you know, what this transaction did. But if you want, we want to like look further in it, we can click like this little I button and click on see more details, and we can get, you know, more information about it. So I mean, the thing that, you know, interests the most is like if the transaction has failed or it's succeeded. So the status is going to tell you exactly that. This is the timestamp, so how long ago this transaction was made. So the two accounts interacting between each other in this transaction. I mean, this could be an account like a wallet, a public key itself, or it could be also a smart contract address. It doesn't make any difference. And, you know, also here you have like some information about, for example, you know, how much fee, how much gas was spent on this transaction. So with the transaction fee field, you can check, you know, how much gas was spent on this transaction, and this is the amount. And, you know, you also have like this information that you're basically not ever gonna need unless, you know, you're developing some application that needs some you know, feature or some you know, you need to organize around, you know, how much transaction you're gonna pay and such. So that's regarding transaction and account, right? But what about, you know, interacting with smart contracts? So smart contracts, you know, as are seen inside a blockchain explorer like any account. So yeah, you're gonna have an address where your smart contract is deployed that you can query and check out, you know, what kind of interaction were made from you know, an account to that smart contract. So what I will do right now, I will just open up this IDE. This is a pretty handy IDE for you know, developing smart contracts on Ethereum. It's called Remix, and it's I mean, the cool feature about it is that it's all online, so you don't need to install any program, you know, in order to run it. But let's say that you know, we want to like deploy a contract, right? And you know, this is what a contract in Solidity looks like, and this is basically the simplest contract that you can get. So what this contract does, I mean, if even you're not a developer at all, I mean, I bet you can understand this. So basically what it does, it exposes two methods. You know, you have a store function and a retrieve function. Okay, if you call the store function, you're gonna need to pass a number to that function, and basically that number will be stored inside the contract. Okay, and you're gonna use the retrieve function to retrieve that number. So it's basically, you know, a storage. It's exactly what it does. You know, it just you know, you can call it and put a number in it, and you can retrieve the number. Okay, pretty simple. But you know, it will be useful to me to explain to you how to check out transaction inside a blockchain explorer. So what we do here is basically compile, you know, these contracts and then deploy it, right? So let's first deploy it through Remix on a fake blockchain, and like I mean, Remix run you know, a fake blockchain in order for you to, you know, be able to transact and test out function without having to wait, for example, for transaction confirmation and such. But it gives you also the possibility to deploy contract inside a real blockchain. So if I click deploy here, right, my contract will be deployed. This, for example, like the local blockchain address, and it's gonna show me like the two functions that we have programmed here. You know, the store function and the retrieve function. Okay, so let's say that if I click retrieve right now, I'm gonna get a 0. Okay, because if you don't initialize if you don't initialize members, they're called of the contracts, Solidity will set them to a default of 0. Okay. So that's the reason why we get a 0. But let's say that, you know, I want to store a 10. So I'm just going to type in 10 and I'm just going to click store. So a transaction will fire. We're not waiting because, you know, this is a local blockchain. And now if I click retrieve, I'm going to get 10. Okay. So if I want to store at 50, I can do the same thing. I'm gonna, fire a store transaction. And now that I call the retrieve, I'm gonna get a 50, okay? So what we can do right now is deploy, this contract into a real blockchain. And we're gonna deploy it into a Polygon Mumbai, into the Polygon Mumbai blockchain, which I was, showing the blockchain explorer earlier. So what we're gonna do, it's basically, switch, to the Mumbai testnet. I'm gonna just get a wallet that has some fake Matic inside it. Well, let me show you something first. So, if you're developing like an application and you need to test them on testnet, you're gonna need some fake, fake cryptocurrency, right? In order to pay for transaction fees. So what the blockchain offers are these tools that are called faucet that you can contact to get this fake money. So for example, if I type in like Mumbai faucet, right, this is gonna redirect me to like this Polygon faucet. There are a lot of them, so you can choose like which one you prefer. But basically what this website does, it's gonna, for example, this faucet can give you like also Ethereum coins for the girly testnet, or I'm not sure what Avail is, but you're gonna have also faucet that can give you like cryptocurrency for different testnets. So basically what I'm gonna do here, it's like copy my address here. So this is my address of this wallet that right now has 7.69 Matic. That's a ton of Matic to pay for transaction fee. This is just for showing you how it works. And we're gonna paste this and submit the transaction, right? Okay, so now it's telling me, you have enough. You have enough token here, and you don't need any more to pay for transaction fees. So I guess that's right. So I guess I can just switch to an account that doesn't have any, right? So let's say I switch to like this account right here that has 0 Matic. Okay, so I can pass it, confirm the transaction. Okay, and this is gonna send to me like one fake Matic in order to be able to develop and test with the Mumbai testnet. So let's check out if it doesn't have it already, but what we can do, actually we can copy this and see when we're gonna get our transaction here. So right now there are no entries. It says like 1 to 2 minutes. Hopefully it's gonna be less, right? But yeah, in the meantime, I'm just gonna deploy like the smart contract with an account that I already have some Matic for. Okay, so they arrive. So right now I have 0.2 Matic. So if I check here, right, I should have like a transaction in that tells me you got those Matics. Let me see if I inserted like the right account. It's kind of weird that it's not showing up. There are no matching entries. For sure a transaction was fired, right? Because now I have some Matic inside my wallet. And yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here, but well, whatever. Okay, so I'm just gonna switch to my other account here with some Matic in it. This one, all right, that's connected. Okay, so I can just if I select this option, it's gonna use MetaMask, to deploy the contract. So if I click deploy here, a new MetaMask window will open up and it will let me sign the transaction. So right now, you can see like this is a contract deployment, and I can click confirm, and that's gonna fire a transaction, that's gonna deploy my contract, right? So let me just move this thing here. Can I move it somewhere? Okay. So right now, here I have my transaction hash so we can check out this transaction. Okay, it's still confirming. Okay, so now it went through. So this is my address wallet, 0x9ff. We can check it out here. This thing is so okay. All right, so you can see 0x9ff, right? And these are the gas fees that I paid for deploying this transaction, this contract. And here, get information regarding where this contract has been deployed, right? So if I click here, I can see my contract. So this is my contract, like it says it right here, right? So if I go back here and I go here, right? This is going to be an address, right? And this is going to be a contract. So they're basically different entities, but basically the information that you can get are basically the same. So we can check that, we can see that we have one transaction, that's the contact creation transaction that I just fired, right, from my wallet. And we can check out all the details like I showed you before. But what we can do here, so basically, I'm missing, okay, because I need to, I guess, by testnet, right? So let me just get the address again. So this was the contract, right? So basically, we can also verify this contract, and if we verify a contract, we will be able to check out which functions are defined inside of it, and it's not going to be like this blur of bytecode, but it's going to be like actual, actual word that's going to tell you, which transaction, which function you can call. And yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing you can do, but let me see if I can do something like this. So if I click on this storage, right, and let's see, if I gonna click retrieve, I'm gonna get a 0, right? But if I put in 10, right, another transaction will fire from MetaMask, and that's gonna ask me, do you want to send this transaction to store 10, right? So this is the method that I'm calling the store method. So if I click confirm here, right, I'm gonna wait for the transaction to be validated by the blockchain. So we can see the transaction pending. So you can also click on the transaction and click on this view on Block Explorer, and this is gonna redirect you directly to the transaction instead of Blockchain Explorer if it works. Sometimes it doesn't. This technology is not really ripe yet. But yeah, let's check it out from the actual address, right? So copy transaction ID. So if I click here, hopefully it should give me should give me let me see on okay, so this is the transaction hash right here. So let me see. Of course, when you do these things live, they never work. But this is basically the transaction hash that was sent to the blockchain, and we should be able to see the store transaction, right? So let me just click retrieve now. We're gonna get 10, okay, because the transaction went through actually. But let me see if I can get these things to work. All right. Transaction hash. Let me check out the country. We should see here. Okay, you should see. I'm just curious to understand why. The transaction hash wasn't. I just want. So this is 0x0dB. So what's Remix telling me? 0x0dB 96 AFF. Okay, so this is actually the number. So what the hell, you know, sometimes you just need to wait for things to happen. But yeah, I mean, the transaction was there, right? Because if not, we wouldn't be able to retrieve like our number from the contract. So let's check out our contract. So we've called the store method, right? And you know, this is the transaction hash, like I've explained before. You can see like which contract we're interacting with, from which account this transaction was sent from, and you know how much gas fees I paid for this transaction. This is right here. So that's basically how you like what kind of information can get. So if you have, for example, like a big contract, like where you fire a lot of transactions, they will all they are gonna all to be displayed here, and you can check, you know, if you're, for example, developing and you know maybe your transaction went through but it failed because, for example, some constraints were not met inside the contract. For example, you know, I could add like a constraint right here inside the contract that tells, you know, I don't want to store 5, you know, because I don't like that number. So we could actually code it, and you know, if I send a transaction with 5, that transaction is going to fail because you know the contract will not. We have a constraint, and the contract will respect that constraint, and we're not going to be able to store like a number 5, for example. That's one of the reasons why a transaction will fail. I mean, transaction could fail like for any number of reasons. Maybe the network was congested, and or you know, I mean, there are a lot of reasons why a transaction could fail, but right now, like with this simple contract that doesn't do anything, and you know, it's really hard for a transaction like this to fail. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you about smart contracts on the blockchain. Let me see if I can, you know, get my account that, you know, I've actually I had something really cool to show you, but I'm not sure why you. Let me check out if I can get this account, because I mean, the transaction should be here. No, sorry, because I've just reset. I didn't think about it, so I've reset my account. So, for example, I mean, you should never like have the need to reset your account, but sometimes like MetaMask gets a little bit cranky, right? And for example, like I was developing a website before, you know, I kept getting like this error that I wasn't sure what to do about. So, you know, I looked up to it on Google, and they just told me, you know, just reset your account. And you know, I did, and the transaction went through. So if you ever like face something like this, just go to advanced and, you know, reset account. That resetting is gonna cancel all your transaction history, right? So that's the problem, and that's what I'm not able to show you. So basically, what I wanted to show you was like a couple of transactions, because I was developing, like it was late at night, and you know, I was testing some functions to do an airdrop. Okay, an airdrop is like you know, when you, for example, connect to a website, you request an airdrop, they're gonna send you free stuff, like, I don't know, free NFTs or free tokens or that kind of stuff, like to your wallet. And that interaction, you know, from program perspective, need to be automated, right? So there has to be like an account connected to your website that's gonna, you know, fire that transfer to your wallet. And in order to do that, you need to provide to the program your private key of the account that's gonna, you know, send like the airdrop to your account. So I was kind of tired, and you know, to test out those functions, I've just, you know, pasted my private key like publicly into the program, right? And then I uploaded like that code onto GitHub. That's like this repository where you can store your code. And you know, I didn't think much about it, but like the next day, I found out that you know, my wallet was drained. Right, I didn't have any more Matic token inside it. And actually, this time I was testing on mainnet, because you know, I did all my tests on testnet and they were working. So you know, I had like real money inside that. I had like, I don't know, 1 Matic. It's basically 70 cents. I mean, nothing to worry about. But basically what I found out is like when I push my code, like some guy basically run some kind of bot, you know, to crawl inside GitHub to check out if he could find like any like private key type of strings. So he basically took my private key and basically run a bot that each time I was uploading an enigmatic inside my wallet, he was gonna drain them instantly. So you know, at first I didn't even think a lot about it, right? So I was just like, I remember, you know, I had some token inside this wallet. Maybe I remember wrong. So let's refill it with like another 70 cents. Okay, another 1 month, you know. And when I was trying out like my function, you know, my meta model was telling me, you know, your funds are not sufficient to pay for transaction fees. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, I just refilled this wallet. So the lesson here is keep your private key private, because people are gonna steal from you, and that's a lot true. And so you should definitely, if you wanted to get serious in crypto, please first do not share your keys, your private keys. Do not upload them on GitHub for sure. And you know, if you plan to store a lot of assets like inside your wallet, just buy a hardware wallet. Because I mean, right now, you know, with MetaMask, we're basically, you know, putting faith inside the MetaMask organization. I don't know who has developed this, but basically we're putting faith on this like an organization to keep our keys safe. But our keys are not ours, like, because they are stored somewhere inside MetaMask, right? So a software product can always be hacked, right? And if they will ever hack MetaMask, they will get access to a ton of keys. I know it's gonna be chaos, like, or everywhere. So if you just want to be sure to keep your keys just to yourself, you can buy like what is called, it's an hardware wallet, and basically it's something like this thing right here. So this is a ledger, okay, and basically it's basically a USB key that has your keys inside of this, and it can be interfaced with MetaMask. So basically, when you're gonna use like this thing to store your keys and file a transaction with MetaMask, you're gonna need like I mean, MetaMask is gonna ask you to send this transaction, right? But MetaMask doesn't have the keys. So to actually send the transaction, you're gonna have to press like some buttons, some physical buttons that are here, and you can actually, you know, sign the transaction with this. And this is the only way to be sure that your keys are gonna be just for yourself. Okay. So if you plan like to store, I don't know, if you plan to invest in crypto, if you plan, you know, to buy a bunch of Ethereum and stuff and store like, you know, some real money in this, just please don't trust anyone else except yourself. Okay. So with that said, I'm done with the blockchain explorer thing, right? And okay, so yeah, this is I've already talked about. So right now I would like to get some minutes to ask if you know, the public has any question at all. And if not, you know, we're gonna try to interact with some of the most famous tools inside blockchain.
Okay, Paolo, so I see some questions on the chat. I will read them for you if you'd like.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the first one is from Mohammed. What you have copied and entered in the search for Polygon scan testnet is the public key, right?
Exactly, that's right. So here on MetaMask, right here, you know, your public key, aka your address. Okay, same thing. So here under your account, you know, I have like a ton of accounts on MetaMask. I don't know if there's any limit on that, but basically under your account name here, you're gonna have like your public key. So if you just click this, copy to clipboard, copy it, and you're gonna paste it, right? Paste it. And you can you know, check your transaction. Of course, I don't have any because I just reset my wallet.
Awesome. So then we have one from Stalin. What did you mean by resetting your transactions? Is that possible?
Yeah, and basically, you know, my transaction history got, you know, deleted. So, you know, I cannot see any transaction for any wallet here, right? So I should be able to see, like, for example, here I have like 0.19 Matic, right? And I ask them to a faucet, right? So I should be able like to see those here, right? At least those, you know, that gave me, okay, what? Okay. Because I've just, you know, erased it for one account, right? So yeah, okay, now this is better. So, you know, your transaction, of course, are going to be, I mean, your transactions are stored inside the blockchain. The thing is that, you know, MetaMask will not show my transaction anymore, right? So that's just from the MetaMask perspective. I mean, your transactions are not going to be deleted. I mean, your transactions are always going to stay in the blockchain once they are, you know, minted, that once they are validated. But your MetaMask is not going to show you like what's your transaction if you reset your account. Okay.
Okay. We have another. Will the value for the fiat money in the Polyscan testnet be shown as $0 at all instances?
I mean, mostly yes. I mean, it's not exactly $0, right? Because I mean, Polygon has one of the lowest transaction fees out there. So I mean, we could actually calculate how much money, you know, these fees are gonna cost. It's just like, you know, it's like a fixed position. So they're just gonna display 2-digit after the 0. So that's 0.000. But let's say if we want actually to check out how much did this cost, let me just go on market cap, right? So this is like a tool to, you know, check out how blockchain is doing overall, and it also has a calculator if I remember correctly. So let's go on Matic, and it should have like here somewhere. Should have like a converter somewhere. Maybe they've okay here. So copy this. So yeah, it was like $0.00014, you know, this transaction. But you know, the blockchain explorer has a fixed length, so they're not going to show you like the whole thing.
Okay. Can you repeat shortly concepts about storage and retrieve functions?
Yeah, for sure. So I mean, if you have never like looked at some code before, I guess, you know, this could be like kind of you know, hard to grasp. But basically, you know, this is a contract, right? And this contract is so stored. It's called storage, right? And this contract has, let's say, inside of itself, like you know, a little container, like that's a var. It's called a variable, right? That's you know, a number. So basically, you know, this storage contract is like a box that can store a number. Okay, you can put a number inside, right? So what the store function does is basically take whatever you put as a parameter of this function. Like for example, here I put 10, right? And store this number that's called the num inside that number variable. So basically you're telling it, you know, get this number and put it inside yourself. Okay. So what the retrieve function does is basically, you know, giving you data about what's inside the contract, what's inside that box. So it's basically you open up the box and say, oh, cool, it's a 10. So that's all it does. Right.
Okay, so Valentin asks, which hardware wallet providers support all tokens?
I don't think there is one. I don't think there is one. I mean, Ledger is one of the most used one, and you know, it has a really good variety of supported tokens, but you know, it doesn't support them at all. I mean, also like you know, you can create yourself a token whenever you want, right? You can just program a smart contract to be a token, right? So I mean, thinking about supporting all the token, it doesn't really make sense because tokens are generated by, you know, the thousands every day. But you know, if you really need the broadest support to at least all the major tokens, but I mean, you're gonna store in your Ledger wallet only like the good token, right? You're gonna store Bitcoin, you're gonna store Ethereum, you're gonna store Polygon, you're gonna store Pocket, you know, all that stuff, and those are gonna be supported. You're not gonna store like your you know, Paolo token. I can build a Paolo token right now, right? But you know, it doesn't make sense for the ledger to support it, because there are just you know, there are, I don't know, I guess there are hundreds of thousands of them out there.
Okay, then we have Igor. If someone hacks my MetaMask account, can they take all of my funds from all of my different addresses?
I mean, this is a good question, because I mean, for each account, you know, you have one private key. So if they hack, I mean, basically, I don't think they can hack your MetaMask. They will need to hack MetaMask, like the organization, and steal the keys from them, right? And maybe amongst those keys, there's gonna be yours. But yeah, I mean, basically the concept is like, if anyone can get hold of your private keys, your wallet is done. They're gonna drain it, they're gonna send your funds to some other wallets, and from those other wallets to other wallets, and you will never able to retrace like who did this, right? But I mean, for example, if I mean, I was saved, right? Because I mean, I pushed my private keys of just one account, and that account was not my main account. What was not like the account where I hold, where you know, I store my valued assets, right? So I've just had some, you know, I had like $1 instead of it, and he was only able to drain funds from that specific account, but all of my remaining accounts were safe because he didn't have the private keys for those different accounts.
Okay, maybe Paolo, you can continue with the lesson, and then we can leave since we have 15 minutes left, and then we can take the last few minutes to continue answering questions.
Yeah, for sure. So one thing that I guess you should all know, right, is like basically the most popular dApps, you know, decentralized application out there. They have both a mainnet version where you use like real money to interact with, like real cryptocurrency, and you know, a testnet version that you can interact with without needing to pay anything, you know, because you can get those cryptocurrency like for free through a faucet, like I've showed you before. So, you know, one suggestion that I can give you, if you just start, you know, interacting with blockchain, there's no need to pay real money to interact with dApps. You know, you can always go to the testnet version of that dApps. That's the same, you know, basically it works the same, but you can actually interact with it without having to pay like real money to pay for transaction fees. Okay. So what I want to show you, like today, for example, one of the most used application, it's Uniswap. Okay, Uniswap is an automated market maker. That's, maybe it doesn't tell you anything, but basically is a tool that provides liquidity to the market. So you can use it, I mean, to do a lot of different stuff, but basically the main functionality is to swap token. Okay, so you can convert, like, for example, one Ethereum to one Uni coin. That's the token of Uniswap. So if we search on Google, like, for example, Uniswap testnet, you know, we can go to the testnet interface of Uniswap. Okay, so here you see you have like you know, the choice. You can choose on which blockchain you want to use Uniswap. So if we switch to Polygon, right? So right now I'm on mainnet, but I should be able to like to go on the testnet. Let me see if I am. Let me see if I am. Because I mean, it feels like it's all mainnet here. Okay, let me see. I should just be able to change my network here on Mumbai. Like, I can connect this, right? But like here on this window, like on this selection tab, you can change, you know, the blockchain that you know, you tell MetaMask to interact with, right? And if I change to Mumbai, okay. So right now we are on Polygon Mumbai, right? And I have 0. Okay, let's switch maybe to a richer wallet, right? So like this thing right here, right? So I have 7.698 Matic, and we can basically, this is just, this is testnet, so it's not gonna have the whole list of all cryptocurrencies. But let's say I want to swap like Matic from some wrapped Ether. I can do that. So I can just put like 2. This is gonna fetch, the conversion rate for Ether to Matic. So basically 1 Ether right now it's 5.52431 Matic, and that should be true. So for example, right now, Matic, it's basically $1. Okay, it's almost $1, and if how much is it? It's $1,500. So like $2 will give me like, I mean, I don't want to make the calculation right now, but yeah, it should be like the exact right amount. Okay, so what is this? Price impact. What? Let me just refresh this. I'm not sure what's going on here. All right, let's select drop the heat, right? 1. I'm not sure why it doesn't let me click this. What is this? Of the same price impact currently in the pool, there may be between the amount of your input token. Okay, this is telling me, basically, you're getting like less than 40% of your conversion. So that's not really cool. But yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here. Let's try to switch on maybe another testnet, right? So let's switch on Girly, right? So Girly, it's a testnet of Ethereum mainnet. So I have 0.2 Ethereum here. So let me check, like, to using Uniswap, I guess 0.1, right? Okay, so that's what should happen, right? It shouldn't like tell you, we're gonna steal from you. But yeah, if you click swap here, it's pretty simple. I mean, it's just 2 input field, right? You click swap, right? You confirm the swap, and it tells you, we're gonna give you like, let me see here. They're gonna give you like 0.14 uni, okay? Because 1 uni is 0.69 Ethereum. So if you click swap, confirm swap, a MetaMask window will pop up. This is my Girly ETH that I'm providing to the contract, and this will submit my transaction. So if I click on Etherscan, it's gonna send me to Girly Etherscan. That's the testnet, and as you can see, it's basically the same user interface of the Polygon Mumbai one. And now we just need to wait for the transaction to be mined. I wanted to use Polygon because it's usually faster. I don't really know what's going on there. But yeah, oh, okay. So one other thing, like you need to import tokens in order for MetaMask to show them up, right? So if you like swap with any other token, you will need to add that token address to your MetaMask. So Uniswap has this like nice feature where you can just click this, add uni, and that's gonna add this uni to your wallet, right? So as we can see here, I already have like those 0.14 that I was promised. So if I click add tokens here, they're gonna be showed now on my MetaMask. If you remember earlier, I didn't have like these answers, right? But if you have any problem, like if the website you're interacting with doesn't have these buttons, you can always check the contract address of a token in order to import it into your MetaMask. How do you do that? Basically, you can look it up on CoinMarketCap, and CoinMarketCap is gonna have like this entry right here that's called contracts, right? And you can basically, it's gonna show you like the Ethereum Ethereum contract. Ethereum is a token, right? So it's I mean it can be bridged from blockchain to blockchain. So we have like different version of Ethereum that represent the same value, on different blockchains. So for example, Ethereum has like a ton of blockchain, where it can bridge. But basically, if you need to import a token, let's say you just need to copy the address like from here and import it, to MetaMask through this button right here. That's called import tokens, right? So you just click this. This is not gonna work. Let's I don't know, like for example, USD coin, right? So USD coin on Ethereum has this address right here, right? So if I copy this, I need, of course, to switch blockchain where I am in, because it's not gonna be like deployed on the same address. But if I switch to mainnet, I can import tokens and custom token. I can paste the token address, and MetaMask is intelligent enough to gather this information for you. But when I click add custom token right now, now I have the entry for the USDC. Okay. So just to finish up what we said before on Girly. So right now I have my unit, right? And I should be able also to check beyond Blockchain Explorer the transaction. This is pretty cool. So you can see that that I called this contract, and I transferred 0.1 Ethereum, right? That's wrapped the Ether because the contract under the hood wraps the Ethereum into like another token, and basically it gives me like this amount of unit back, right? This is the value of the transaction. So I've sent, like the value is how much token you've sent inside the transaction. This is 0.1 Ethereum. These are the transaction fees. So that's how you use Uniswap to like swap tokens, right? And another super cool tool that I want to show you. I bet you're not gonna use it ever, but I just want to show you because it's so cool. Okay, it's called Superfluid. Okay. So Superfluid is actually like a really neat protocol that came out like 1 year ago. And this is not what I was looking for. Let me just, this thing is always Superfluid. All right. And basically it's a protocol that lets you send cryptocurrencies in a fractional way. So it's gonna let you like specify a window of time. So let's say I owe you like 1 Ethereum, right? But I don't really want to give that whole Ethereum to you right now. I prefer it to give you like in a window of 1 month, for example. So what Superfluid does is basically fractionalize that Ethereum. It's gonna send each second, a small amount of Ethereum that by the end of the month is gonna be the whole Ethereum. So it's gonna send you like minimum amount of tokens, but each second. So just think about the impact that this could have, like for example on salaries, right? So you shouldn't have to wait like till the end of the month to get your whole salary, but you could actually be paid each second, and have access to those money, each seconds, without having to wait, for the end of the month to get those money. And that's pretty innovative, I believe. So let me see if I can. Yeah, right now I'm Girly. Let's switch to Polygon Mumbai. All right. So this is the last thing that I'm gonna show you. So these are called stream, right? So let's say I want to send, to another my account. Let's say this account, okay? Some token, right? So I want to send you like some Matic, right? And I want to send them like, I don't know, 1 Matic per week, right? I need to before being able to do this, I need to wrap those Matic tokens into what they call MatX, token X. That's the version of the token that can be split, and can be sent through a stream to send you money. So we actually need to like wrap. Let's say we wrap one, all right? So we can wrap those tokens, and I'm gonna get back like one wrap X. Okay. So right now, so this is the transaction. Okay, so we can always check it on the blockchain explorer. It should be like validated in a bit. Let me see if okay. So I should have been able to wrap those. So let's do this again. So right now I have one Matic X. Okay. No, wait. I clicked the wrong one. So let's do this again. Okay, so one Matic X. So I want to send you one Matic X like per week, right? You have also transaction fees, and I'm just gonna approve this transaction. Okay. So right now, after this transaction is completed, we can see it like our balance to start slowly increasing, and then the other wallet balance to start slowly increasing. So yeah. So right now, it's sending. Okay. So that's pretty cool, I believe.
We do have a couple of questions on Superfluid. So the first one is, what about transaction fees?
What about those? Our fees that you need to pay, for the blockchain to be able to validate, the blocks, right? So it's like the reward for the miners, or right now they're called validator because Ethereum switched to proof of stake. But basically, transaction fees are the fees that you pay for the whole blockchain to be able to sustain itself. It's the money that you give to the blockchain to make it possible to work. Nothing is free. Electricity isn't free. Hardware isn't free. So you need to pay for transaction fees. And of course, from blockchain to blockchain, those transaction fees can change a lot. Like for example, Ethereum right now has I guess the most expensive transaction fees, but if you compare them with other blockchain, layer one blockchain like Algorand's or Mir, you're gonna pay like one hundredth of a cent for a transaction fee. So right now, as the status are of the blockchain, and you shouldn't really worry about transaction fees because they are gonna be less than 1 cent. So I guess anybody could afford those.
Okay, then someone else asks if a transaction in Superfluid can be halted or stopped after initiating.
Yeah, for sure. You got those cancel stream here. We're gonna wait, and you're gonna be able to just another transaction, and you're gonna be able to stop. So we should see like in a while, like when this cancel stream gets validated, we should see like the stream stop. Okay.
Awesome.
But of course, there are also ways to not being able to do that. Like if you made a contract exactly, if you get paid a salary and you don't want like your job employer to be able to cancel your stream, so you can also do that. So right now you see, it has stopped. Right?
Cool. I think we have run out of questions. It's 7:03. We can wrap it up. Thank you so much, Paolo, for being here tonight.
It was a pleasure.
Awesome lesson. Everyone else, we will see you both in your respective lessons on Saturday. Have an awesome rest of your night, and see you soon. Thank you again.
All right.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone. Keep your private key private.
Exactly.
Bye-bye.
Bye.